What is up, Minties? The Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to do an overview of the Batman Eternal Omnibus from DC Comics. So please stay tuned. Right, let's look at this. Now, before I get started, here's a quick word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Okay, so let's look at it and compare the size is what I want to do first. Here's one of the biggest Batman Omnis, and that is, of course, the Batman and Robin Omnibus. That's the Patrick Gleason and Peter Tomasi run. This book over here is right around 1,200 pages. I think it's a little over 1,200 pages. Where this one is a little bit more. I think I want to say it's like 1,300 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Both of them do retail for $125, though. As you could probably tell, there's the cover, there's that spine, and then the back, which kind of spoils something. So I guess we have to talk about that. A little bit of the plot, because I don't really like to give away spoilers in these, but let's look at the book without the dust jacket. Now, the stories in here have been previously collected in these three trade paperbacks. They were pretty thick, and each one of these retailed for $39.99. They're about the thickness of an epic. Actually, some of them are a little bit smaller than epics, but all of this is now in here. Of course, this is oversized artwork. Here's what the inside looks like without the dust jacket. You can see the supporting cast here that is in the book. Okay, so let's look through here as we talk a little bit about what is Batman Eternal. So this series came out from the success of the Batman New 52. It was a weekly series that was, actually, I can show you exactly who it was written by. You had a multiple of talent working on it. So you had Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV writing both of the main stories. Now, James Tynion went on to do the Detective Comics Rebirth edition. But you also had the script written by Ray Fox, Tim Seeley, Kyle Higgins, John Layman at first, and Scott Snyder, because Scott Snyder was mainly doing the plot. And then you had all this talent working on the book. Jason Fabuk and Dustin Nguyen were the ones that actually stand out to me. Here's an introduction by James Tynion IV. How it all got started, how they all sparked an interest in writing this weekly series. So yes, Batman was selling really well for the New 52, and Grant Morrison was about to stop doing Batman Incorporated. So DC editorial, I believe it was Mike Marks, he talks about it at the beginning of here, decided that, hey, we need a new title to take that. Why don't we do a weekly title, kind of like in the vein of the 52 or Countdown or the DC Trinity, and let's focus on Batman and his family. So it kind of works. So they needed a plot. So the basic plot of this is Batman and his Bat family are on their own. Because at the end of issue 1, as you saw in the back, this isn't that big of a spoiler, Commissioner Gordon gets arrested. Now, how he gets out, because, I'm sure he eventually gets out, right? Or why he's sentenced to prison, I'll let you all find that out. So, not only that, but on top of that, you have all hell breaking loose in Gotham City. And somebody is orchestrating all of this hell breaking loose. So as I flip through here, I got to be careful because I kind of want to keep that as a surprise for you all that have not read it. Here's Jason Fabuk's wonderful artwork, who kind of reminded me a little bit of David Finch. He went on to do the Justice League book and then just kind of blew up when Rebirth started. And then you get other wonderful talent in here, like the amazing Dustin Nguyen here. I have always enjoyed his artwork. And here's Andy Clark, just to name a few. So you could probably tell the book is kind of big, so it's not, for some reason, the design of it isn't that easy to read. You have to push down a little bit. And I'm about 70 pages into the story. Let's look a little more through here. So that's good. You see the eye, but I think what's happening is they have a lot of heavy glue in here, and that's what keeps the weight down. So that's why the pages are folding over. Now, it gets better as you get towards the middle, of course, and it lays down a lot better. But a good book should be able to lay down flat once you're this much into it without pushing it down. So you're pushing against it, and that can take a toll on the spine. But I mean, it's DC. It's come miles ahead of what they used to be. So you've got Batman, you've got Spoiler, you've got Red Robin, you've got Batgirl, you've got Batwoman, you've got a whole new characters like Bluebird, and it also introduces us to another character that is related to Alfred. I'm not going to spoil that for you in case you have never read this stuff. You've got all this talent working on Batwing, working on the book, both as the writers and artists. So how is the book? I really, really liked the book. In the middle, it kind of takes a dip and then take a break. And when it comes back, the third act is just not as good as the first and second act. It kind of dies off in a whimper. I have to skip some pages here because I don't want to spoil who's in here. But I mean, if you're curious, it's still a pretty good read. I think a lot of elements from here you can see James Tynion using in his detective run. Now, when does this take place? Well, it takes place in between Death of the Family, which is Volume 3 of Scott Snyder's New 52 run, and Endgame, which is Volume 7 of his run. Now, do you have to read those to enjoy this? No, not really. Actually, the only issue that you probably need to read is included in here, but for some reason, they put it all the way at the end of the book. And another thing you may have noticed is that the covers and the back of the covers don't have a number. So you really don't know where and what you're reading. Because not where you're reading. You obviously know where the hell you're reading. That's one of my pet peeves about the recent New 52, or I'm sorry, the DC collections, is that they're not putting the number. I mean, I could even take a little bit of a title down here. Just tell me what issue it is. I know it's not for bookmark reasons. It's just for my personal reasons because I like comprehensive reading orders. For example, they took a break here in between the weeks, and then they came back. Now, it would have been good to read like Volume 6 of Scott Snyder's run while they took a break here. That kind of sets up the remaining of the Batman Eternal stories. But I don't know what issue is what. So, there's that. Does it read okay as a whole, as just one omnibus? Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of things that it sets up later on. Here are little cameos here. Awesome cameos. Now that we've seen the spine and some of the artwork, let's look back here at the extras. And here is the bonus story, which is issue 28 of Scott Snyder's Batman run. There's Bluebird with Batman. And let's look back here. I don't know why they didn't put this at the beginning, but hey, whatever. Here's one of the variant covers. Now, that's one thing I didn't really see a lot of are the variant covers. So I didn't see them scattered throughout, which is what they usually do. So it looks like they compiled the extras from the 3 trade paperbacks, the thick trade paperbacks I showed you all earlier, and added them to the back here. Actually, this is new. So it kind of gives you a synopsis in case you're not familiar with the characters. Go to the back, who Tim Drake is, who Batwoman is, and okay, this is Harper Row is, who plays an important part in this. Yeah, so you got 1,206 pages of material in this book. Now, I'm all for new Batman omnibuses. Hell yes, please, more. We need a lot more. Why start with Batman Eternal? I don't know. I'm not sure who took a vote and said, what's the most memorable Batman story that we could collect in a nice, big, expensive format? I don't know who raised their hand and said Batman Eternal. Because there are other stories that deserve this kind of treatment. Looking at all the post-crisis Batman books. Looking at the Paul Dini Batman. I mean, we were supposed to get a Hush Returns book, and it got canceled. But, I mean, I'm all for having new Batman material in omnibus format. I mean, you have the 3 main characters, and Batman is really lacking in modern omnis. The Golden Age, Superman, and Batman stuff, there's a lot of. But in modern omnis, or anything post-Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's just, there's not a lot. So, I guess it's something. And that was the contents of the book. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going into this blind, or if you've already owned the trade paperbacks and you're upgrading to this big, huge omnibus, or if you're still on the fence about it. I hope I was able to answer some questions that you may have about this Omni. I've shown you where it takes place in between those two books and how it's been previously released before. If you enjoy the content of this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like button if you haven't already done so, and hit the notifications button to let you know when our episodes are going live. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, where you get exclusive things like early access to videos and behind the scene bloopers, and also a vote on the comprehensive reading order polls. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.